Hello, sports fans. This is Steven here for JustMyPicks.com, and I bring you a special in-depth breakdown of the NBA Finals between the San Antonio Spurs taking on the Miami Heat. Both these teams have earned their right to be in the NBA Finals. I know for the Miami Heat, this is their third back-to-back-to-back finals, becoming the first team since the Chicago Bulls in the Eastern Conference to go back three straight times. I know that the San Antonio Spurs are pumped to be back into the NBA Finals. Greg Popovich, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Ginobili. Those guys have been champions before. We know their pedigree. We know their story. They've been here, done that before. A lot of these players for the Spurs that are younger have never been to an NBA Finals. They have the championship pedigree because they learn from their coaches, the coaching staff, and certain leaders on the team how to be champions, but they've never officially been. For the Miami Heat, this has been there, done that. Number 3 in a row for Dwayne Wade, for Chris Bosh, LeBron James. This is going to be one of the most special times for the Miami Heat because, as we know it, the Big Three has changed a lot of their dynamics. We know Dwayne Wade and his failing health with his knees and his game slipping a little bit. Chris Bosh. There's so many questions surrounding the Miami Heat. So this may be your last time seeing this team as currently constructed. The Miami Heat played a hell of a basketball game against the Indiana Pacers. We saw LeBron James get involved. We saw Dwayne Wade get involved. We saw Chris Bosh. You saw Birdman back in action in Game 7. This NBA Finals is going to be a very difficult finals to call because you have a lot of veteran leadership on both teams. You have a lot of these players who have been in the NBA for a long time, who know the ins and out of the game, who know these guys' games on each side very well. We've seen Dwayne Wade play a lot. We've seen LeBron play a lot, Chris Bosh, Tim Duncan, those guys. But in this basketball game, you're going to have a 7-game series, I believe. I believe that Greg Popovich versus Eric Spoelstra is going to be a great coaching matchup. I know that Greg Popovich has a lot of advantages, being that he's been to multiple championships and won multiple championships. You have to tip your hat to Greg Popovich in the coaching duel, but I think that Eric Spoelstra has the most talent on his team right now, currently constructed. We saw Paul George push LeBron James defensively. I know that LeBron, he still balled out in almost every single game against the Pacers. In this series, Kawhi Leonard is going to have to try to mimic what Paul George did to try to slow down LeBron James. It's going to be one of those games where each and every night you can't be frustrated because LeBron is going to get his. D Wade, we've seen, and even if it's just one game, D Wade is going to get his. Chris Bosh the same. So you can't be frustrated easily if you're a Spurs defender. I know Danny Green is one of those guys that they're going to have to also throw at LeBron. They're going to have to throw multiple bodies at LeBron James because you can't just give LeBron James the same similar looks. He's going to eat you apart. Also, the Spurs bench is going to play big in this series. I know Thiago Splitter, when he's healthy, he can be solid and effective. They won't have that problem that they had against the Indiana Pacers with Big Roy Hibbert in the middle, only because the Spurs don't have a dominant center in the low post. I know Tim Duncan still gets his, but his is more of like a casual get. It's not like Roy Hibbert got in constantly pounding you. In this series, the Miami Heat are I'm looking at it as they're going to get their second NBA title. LeBron James wants revenge over the San Antonio Spurs, who beat him in his first NBA Finals. If for a lot that don't remember, when he took a bad Cleveland Cavaliers team to the championship and they got swept. So that is in the back of LeBron James's mind. I think payback is on his mind. Yes, they have Ginobili. Yes, they have Boris Diaw. Yes, they have a lot of these key pieces. But LeBron James is on a destruction path of the NBA. And I think that the Spurs layoff is going to hurt them in the long run. Because the Miami Heat are coming into this game. They're still pumping high off adrenaline. They're still playing at a very high level because they basically faced a winner-go-home game. The Spurs have been off almost 2 weeks as is, so it's going to be an exciting NBA Finals. Once again, I'm picking the Miami Heat to win this in 7 games. I do not think it's going to be easy. I think that it's going to have to be an all-hands-on-deck scenario for the Miami Heat to win this series, but I think it's going to be a very exciting series. I think that you'll have a lot of players that steps up off the bench, like Norris Cole, like Mario Chalmers, like Matt Bonner, like DeJuan Blair. But when it comes down to it, you have 3 of the best players that are in the NBA right now with Wade, Bosh, and LeBron James, the best player on the planet. You can check me out at justmypicks.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at justmypickstv. You can also check out this video and all my other videos on YouTube /justmypickstv. Thank you very much for subscribing, and please comment.